Alright guys, here is how to make some superhero flying VFX like shown in that video super fast. First, we're going to go over to mixamo.com and we're going to get ourselves a character. So I'm going to go and grab Leonard right here and make sure he's all good. Alright, now we're going to go to animation tab right here, and then we're just going to search up flying just so we can get like a simple flying animation for the character. We're going to put in place, and then that looks good, and then make the frames a little longer. Okay. Alright, once you've downloaded the animation from Mixamo, you're going to import it into Blender. Just import FBX, and then here you go. You see you have the model of the character in the flying position. So let's go into rendered view to see if it looks right. And yeah, now we're gonna animate but like have him fly to a certain spot. We could use a path and have him follow a path, but since this is a beginner tutorial, we're just gonna be inserting keyframes. So we're gonna insert a keyframe and go up on the timeline, move him all the way back there, and then insert another keyframe over there, and then we should have just someone flying in a straight line. See what it looks like on the camera. Yeah, so it's going to get enough speed. Yeah, so it looks good like that. So now I'm gonna kind of rotate him up and have him like kind of stop flying straight and then go a little up and just kind of stop there and glide and look over the sky. So I'm just gonna rotate him and move him up to where I want him, and then insert another keyframe, and then it should just have a little animation. And I'm not trying to do a super detailed animation, so it's gonna look janky just for the tutorial, because this is supposed to be super quick, and VFX you can do in 10 minutes anyway. Once you have your fly path set up and the keyframe set, we're gonna go onto the camera, and I'm gonna put a track to constraint and set the target to my armature. And what that's gonna do is basically wherever the character flies, the camera is just gonna track him. So no animated camera. All you gotta do is just put that constraint on, and your camera will just automatically track onto your character, which is pretty cool. Real quick, we're just gonna go insert some keyframes on the focal length so we can get kind of like a zoom effect. So you insert a keyframe and then increase the focal length, insert another keyframe, and then whenever you want to zoom it back out, I'm gonna drag it to about there, probably a little bit shorter like that, and then bring it back to 50 millimeters, insert a keyframe. Now we have like a little camera zoom, kind of zooming in on him, which will look kind of cool once we enable depth of field on the camera, which will put him out of focus when it zooms in. And now we're going to add some camera shake. So I have the camera shakeify add-on, which I'll try to link in the description, but you basically just pick any of this. Once you click the plus, I'm going to put spaceship shake, and it gives you just a bunch of camera shake, which is pretty cool, and it kind of is like a good camera motion for a flying shot, because it's probably going to be super shaky. So what we can also do is animate the shakiness. So we're going to go ahead and insert a keyframe on the beginning for it to be max shakiness. Drag it up a little on the timeline, and then insert another keyframe like that on the same one, and then right when you want it to be kind of like less shaky, I'm going to drag it all the way down to about here, insert another keyframe, and then now when it gets to that frame, it'll be less shaky. It's still kind of a lot shaky because I'm using the spaceship shake, but it's less than it was. So let's see if it works out good. Yeah. And you can also animate the camera motion yourself if you want, but I use the camera shakeify. So I'm going to go over into the render area, put motion blur on. I'm going to kind of crank it up a little bit, but not too much. Go down to color management, change this to filmic. I like to use high contrast, and yeah, it just makes it look a little better, especially once we add like the sky and all that. So alright, to add the sky, we're gonna go to blenderkit.com, make sure you have an account, and go search up sky, then put on filter free. So this is a free sky right here. Go on that link, click the copy, whatever, and then once you go in, it should already pop up if you have the Blender Kit add-on already, and then click that, and then once we go into rendered view, we should have our sky. There we go. It looks pretty good. It's like over the ocean. So now our animation looks kind of cooler, you know. We're going over the ocean, up in the sky, and then yeah, it looks pretty good. So that's pretty much the basics of it. You can like obviously put in other like assets, like a 3D like model of a helicopter, and animate the helicopter flying through, like I did in a previous flying animation, which I'll put over the screen now. You can really do any type of scene you want. This is just like the basic, like how to do, like how to set up the scene, how to animate the path or whatever. I'm gonna make a more in-depth tutorial soon to do more more detailed scenes, but for now this is just the basics. So go ahead and like set your render settings and put your motion blur up and enable depth of field, so once it zooms in like this, it's all blurred out, so you can't really tell that the animation kind of sucks right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have our scene right there already done. So yeah, subscribe for the incoming detailed tutorial for the more, you know, advanced scenes. I'll be making that soon. So if this is helpful, leave a like, and thank you guys. See ya.